I just got a notification on Twitch. Weird. Very, very strange.
You can absolutely ignore that. It doesn't mean anything. It's not real.
Mm-hmm. It's probably just my schizophrenia.
Possibly. Or maybe it is extremely real. Don't check the Reddit.
Don't read into it too much.
Oh no. Okay, cool.
I cannot wait to get absolutely roasted and toasted today. It's gonna be a great time.
Close that so that it's not feeding back. There's the Petornia Reddit. I need to make a post. I hate Reddit's UI on desktop. Submit a new link. Put the Petornia subreddit with a flare. DM Panic. DM Panic actually sounds perfect. Yeah, DM Panic. Or DM Lore Drop, actually. Which one do you think?
I like DM Panic.
Okay, DM Panic. Oh, I can put multiple, actually. No, I can't. Submit. Okay, that's posted. Okay, I'll be back in about 8 minutes when we're ready to start. Right now it's on a starting sim.
Hey.
Okay. I do be ready to get started.
I'm so excited. I have things.
Oh, you have far more than me then, because I did not prepare myself. Here, let me turn down our music. And let's go to the live. It's just us two today, so our images are massive, but I think that's okay.
I think that is completely okay.
All right. Are you ready for the infinite barrage of questions?
I am so ready.
All right. How do you want to start this?
Hello everybody. I'm Avery, the DM of Petornia. It's been alive for 10 years and a week. Um, and in celebration of this, I have come up with a idea. Said idea is let's let the players ask any questions they so desire, which could be very bad for me, but also very fun. And I also thought the idea of having a roast of Petornia might be kind of neat. However, I did not have the forethought to plan it out and have it be like a big event that everybody could be in. So, if anybody has any like submissions or anything like that that they would like to put in during the hour we're going to be here for, um, feel free to go ahead and post those
You know,
and either. Sorry,
and you know what's really funny about that, actually?
what?
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say I don't think I shared the correct link. I did. It's fine.
Okay.
I was gonna get really, really nervous that I did it wrong.
No, I think you're fine. You're fine. You're a professional.
No. I will put it in the two seats though.
You're a pro, like uh, like many others, except for.
In hindsight, we also probably could have hosted this in the crossovers. Um,
Oh,
but I think this works as well. So, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before I start barraging you with so many questions about so many things?
um, I'm very excited. I already predict that most of these questions are going to be about Kishta, and I'm so excited to not be able to answer all of those.
Well, my first question actually is not about Kishta. I'm super curious about, you've got Anscan and his brothers, Destiny, Fate, all of them, right?
Mhm.
I would like to learn more about them because the Guardians actually haven't had a chance to interact with them all that much. We've been boots on the ground, not so much boots in the office that runs everything. So, could you
Right.
tell me a bit more about all of them?
I most certainly can. Um, oh boy, we're opening big here.
Yeah, absolutely. Go big or go home. And the nice thing is I
Mhm.
don't have to write down notes physically because I could just watch this again.
Well, if it's always go big and go home, like most Petornia combat scenes, I'm gonna go home.
No, you're not allowed. That was offered as a
The
formality. You're not allowed.
I'm sorry, that's one of the roasts that didn't fit into the.
No, come back. Come back.
Not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. I'm not going anywhere. Most like the unrelevant characters in Petornia. Anyway,
Yes, because all the relevant ones die. Except for Valdor, he survived.
yeah, Valdor survived.
Actually, intersecting this question before you answer the other one, what are the odds? Actually, I know exactly the odds, but I'm going to say it anyway because a lot of people haven't heard about this. Of rolling, what was it, 1 million out of 1 million on a D1 million?
Uh, I think that is 1 in 1 million.
Sorry, it was a 1 billion. You rolled a 1 in 1 billion.
Ah, yes. Actually, I believe it was. I believe the intention was to be a 100 billion,
That's
but I may
insane.
have missed a zero or so. But yeah, I believe the odds of that are shockingly low at 1 in 100 billion.
Shout out to Valdor for just being the best.
He just was there.
The space and time uncle. Yeah, amazing. No, but yeah, to get back on subject, tell me more about Onscan and his siblings. Are they all brothers for starters? I don't know that for a fact.
Well, they consider themselves brothers because they're the only of their kind.
Oh, so they're not
Um,
even like specifically relatives.
yeah, no. And funny enough, if you go way back to the origins of Petornia, or even just the great multiverse at large, which I don't have a name for, there were no, sorry, four things that just existed.
Mm-hmm.
And no rhyme or reason, there's no history on why. They've just always been there. And that is the eight divines, which are Onscan and his brothers, the sound, the thing that should not be, and the web of fate.
Gotcha.
And they all existed separately of each other, with no knowledge of each other for uncountable amounts of time.
And so for that purpose, since they have known each other for all this time and are the only things like themselves, they've sort of considered themselves brothers, for lack of a better term. They're like a brotherhood.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of it is because they fight like brothers, but as much as they hate each other, at the end of the day, they're they kind of only have each other. There's not a lot of other things that can relate to their state of existence.
Gotcha. Zway is actually in here and has a question. Uh,
Oh,
Zway says, "Could you perhaps tell me what arc the players assemble and the shattered Elden Ring?" Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. Zway wants to know when we assemble the shattered Elden Ring. It's for a research project.
yeah, no, exactly. I was waiting for when this might come up. So everyone has read the famed and fabled Elden Ring connection, right? It's like the the thing.
One of your
I
OG posts, yeah.
Yeah, well, and it's probably one of the most legendary things, if not a fan favorite, a DM favorite on the Reddit.
Absolutely.
I associate that more with Petornia than I do Babylon because it's made more appearances in canon. And the Shattered Elden Ring will be completed in Arc 9, which is when is when FromSoft, funnily enough, officially finalizes their suing of me.
Yes, that's when the DMCA will take full effect.
Hmm.
Oh
And then
man.
I will um see part of the contract we have with each other is instead of giving them any money or anything because I don't have any of that, they're gonna place me on an island with even less internet connection than I do have here.
Wow, that's hard to do.
I know.
You have to have
They're
actually zero.
Yeah, they're actually going out and destroying any internet towers
So they're
in the
sending you to
nearby.
Australia. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Miyazaki's a true genius. Now we just need the Petornia swamp level. This is also a good idea. I can just go through the Reddit and ask you all sorts of questions about all of these.
Oh no.
Oh, here's a good one. Tell us about the spoon. Why is the spoon so important? Tell everyone about the spoon.
Okay, everybody. It's time I come clean with the spoon meme. I've told most of you, many of you, if not all of you, that the spoon, I just don't know where it came from. It just popped up in the good old-fashioned years of Petornia and never left. That is a dirty, dirty lie. If you look at the map of Petornia,
Oh,
you will an island south of Ichthar's Island.
hold on. I can pull up a map. I can share this. Let me.
I'm actually I'm gonna have to look at the actual map so that way I can accurately.
Petornia. I might be able to actually add this to the stream. Would it be better to look at the world map or the country map with the different countries separated out?
Probably the country map.
Which needs to be updated because a certain group of people has decided to move High City. Love them. Love them for that.
Well, um, so yeah, there's an island there. Between the Orc Islands, the Iktar's Island to the north, to the east would be Yan, and to the south would be Isk. See a very peculiar. Oh no, I can't say peculiar. Anyway, there's very, very odd-looking islands, some might say. And also, since Zway is here, this island he named, and I was very frustrated that it looked like a spoon, because that was not my intention. But it was funny, so I decided to make it canon that that is Spoon Island.
This map is massive. I don't know why I made it so big. I have no regrets.
Yeah, I have no regrets either. It's a big chunker like the real world of Petornia.
Here, I'll put it over here for now. So we're talking about this island south of the
Iktar.
South of Victor Islands. Oh, that's there's an Asta.
Special guest.
Wasn't sure you were gonna make it. We need to move this.
Yeah, no,
down.
I had just woken up.
Oh gosh. Okay. So we're talking about the island just above Asta's head now.
Just above my head.
Yeah, we were discussing this spoon meme. There's really not a great way to show this without like a laser pointer or something, which is fine. It's fine. I was just curious about this spoon meme, and it's been very well explained.
That was probably the thing that took me back the most when I saw the timeline first time. I'm like, first I was at a giant spoon, and secondly, is that a brick?
Yes, and yes, we can ask about the brick as well if we want. Do you have any questions, Asta? Since I've been, or I guess we can just call each other nerd and whatnot, since we're not in game. So nerd, do you have any questions?
Well, tell me about the story of the brick. Like, I know a little bit, but I want to know, like, for one, how did he get in the brick, and why specifically a brick?
Right. Okay. Give me 1 second.
You're going to be diving in all sorts of notes today.
Okay. So, the brick is, bricks don't talk. Anyway, Onscan was one of the 8 divines, and he was the one who decided, hey, fuck this sitting in an endless void of nothingness. Why don't we go ahead and make stuff? And his brothers were like, no, making stuff is bad because then mortals will exist. And mortals' existence intrinsically means that they will suffer. And he was like, fuck all that nonsense. So he went ahead and did it anyway. And this made his brothers big mad. So they made the decision to, A, turn him into a brick. And there is actually some importance to why he's a brick. Which is that a lot of his, how should I put this? Like, philosophy was, I'm the builder, and you are my material. And so they thought it would be embarrassing to turn him into the material. He
Mm,
was into a brick to encase him there so that way he could never create or interact with basically anything ever again. Um, and they put him in the Dark Realm because that is the hell of Petornia. And they put him there in particular because Petornia is sort of generally in the greater multiverse known to be the bittersweet world.
I see. I see.
And they thought it would be ironic to put him there.
It is very ironic. You also kind of, I know OnScan is no longer in the brick, but you set it up. You almost set up like a moment where there could have been a very big like moment like from the movie Friday. Like imagine like if like Kisha was just sitting there like Daedalus like picked up this brick and just hit her with it.
Um, so
OnScan, go.
so I have a question. You said
Mhm,
there were 8 divines. 7
mhm.
of the 8 of them were just so intrinsically against creating life, whereas just one
Yep,
of them is just screw that. I'll go ahead and do it, right?
yep.
Why were 7 of them so against creating life? Could he not
Um,
have influenced even one of them? Were they that stubborn about it, or?
yeah, they were, because they have this crazy thing called empathy, um, where
Right.
OnScan is completely indifferent to any life or anything might experience in life. All of his brothers are very, very sympathetic and don't want like their philosophy is more so it is better to never exist at all but never suffer than to exist and suffer. Whereas OnScan is more so it's better to exist and experience things than to never exist at all.
Okay,
The end must
so
hate their asses.
from an empathetic standpoint, though, is there not an argument for exactly what Anskin is thinking? It's better to have the ability to exist and decide whether you want to experience this than to never have the opportunity. Could they? I'm more curious about these other 7. Uh, if there's any part of them that is appreciative of the life that now exists all around them.
Um, there is, but it's buried under a lot of frustration
Mm.
because they
I thought you were
had
gonna say pride. Like they're too proud to say that they were right. That OnScan was right.
oh no, pride is also a massive part of it. Um, but a lot of it is they they're the reason why a lot of things, why a lot of god roles exist, why a lot of um why a lot of the systems of Petornia sort of exist,
Mm-hmm.
and why positive things have been added to the world. Because essentially, OnScan made a very cruel world, and they did not want the entire existence of mortals to be awful. And so they took it upon themselves to make it as even and as balanced as possible.
I do recall you saying that one of their large frustrations was that they're always so busy making sure that the world isn't, ending.
Hmm.
So I definitely see that being, one of their frustrations that's keeping them from truly enjoying the life around them. That makes a lot of sense to
Hmm.
me. So I am really bad about keeping all sorts of names and everything straight in my head. Can you tell me sort of the names and personalities of the 7? Uh, what? I'm sorry. What were they? Celestials or
Divine.
divines?
Let me go ahead and pull up my notes real quick because I don't remember all of them.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like I remember Onskin specifically because I mean, the sword.
He's the he's the only one that does stuff.
The only one I remember other than Onscan is Destiny. I remember that because we hate that bitch.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know that we hate him. He did what he had to do in the moment. I just
Daedalus straight up said we're putting him on a hit list.
Daedalus was very emotionally charged at that moment.
So there is destiny, time, joy, sadness, truth, trust, and death.
Oh right, and this
Um,
death was not the same death that most most people would know, right? Like this is not the same death that sits around with the hammer bonking people.
yeah, no. Because his name is not even Death. His name is Arbor.
Arbor, right?
I was gonna say, damn, this roster for Inside Out 2 is looking crazy. Happiness, joy, sadness, time, destiny.
They've gotten a little bit stronger with their emotions.
Mm-hmm. Wiley is ascending to another plane.
So Destiny is sort of the de facto leader. He was sort of the head of the charge in putting Onscan in the brick. He's probably the most active. He is sort of a how should I put it? He's sort of the one that's willing to take action if he must. Granted, none of them really want to take action, but he is responsible for helping weave the future into something better, or at least something balanced.
So that
Then
that makes
there's
sense for him being the leader. That makes a lot of sense.
then there's time, and time is responsible for the flow of time. He hates it when anybody bothers him or makes anything harder on him.
He doesn't like
He's
working
very
too hard.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like working at all,
Okay, got it.
but he's responsible for when the clock clicks another second forward.
So he must be busy nonstop, essentially.
Yeah. Um, Joy is always sad and depressed and crying.
Damn. Hit him with a fucking Uno reverse card on that one.
Why is that?
Well, because Joy is responsible for trying to bring all of the positivity to the world. He is the comedy to Sadness's tragedy. But tragedy is always, or sadness is always laughing and jovial. Who's responsible for always bringing um, the heartache, the sadness, the awful, awful times.
So
However, a lot of roles are a lot more background.
so why is it that their sort of emotions are reverse of what they bring?
Well, the out of lore reason is because I love the irony of it.
Okay.
The in lore reason is because anytime Joy goes to do his job, he sees what sadness has done. And it affects him really deeply.
Mm.
And then whenever sadness goes to do his job, he sees what Joy has done. And it brings him, you know, a euphoric laughter, of euphoric joy.
I see. Okay. So then, well, first of all, I'm gonna need Joy to get on his job a little bit more because I don't think anybody in Petornia is having a great time right now.
Bro, you're saying that like you're saying that like our characters probably ain't one of the number one reasons this motherfucker's stressed out. We do way too much shit.
You think we do? Oh my gosh, the other groups in Petornia are insane.
I mean, at least we're not like calling down meteors on people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we did see, like, we stopped some of the crazy things from happening, you know?
You say we like I had a hand in that. I just showed up and sat there and looked pretty, and you shot someone's face off.
You were emotional support, and it was very much needed. Not something that,
Emotional support. I wanted the motherfucker. I wanted to put hands on the dude.
not something I'd like to repeat. um,
Yeah, so next is truth. Now truth is sort of the truth and trust are kind of they're very much unseen, but they have a lot of involvement. Because truth's job is to try and bring the truth in whatever way he can back to people.
They're rats.
So no, well, kinda, yeah. They're a little bit of snitches. And they try to weave it back to a way that they try to bring the truth back to people. Now, obviously, they're not just like at every person all the time being like, all right, here's what's going down, but more so they're like, in greater instances, they will try to, and they work with Destiny on this to try and weave truth back into people that will help shape the world. Trust has a lot to do with sort of general security. So, for example, Trust is sort of the main patron of the Night Guard when they were still a thing.
oh, I have so many questions about the Night Guard.
Oh no. Um, Trust's yeah, no, Trust is very much the hmm, how to describe Trust? Trust tries to help with, and I should note that Trust is indifferent of like what God or anything like that, but Trust is responsible for trying to bring the masses to something that they can trust and be secure in to help, again, with Destiny and Time and all of them trying to weave the world into a better world, into being better.
I've lost count. Have we gone through all 7 of them?
Nope. Last one is Death.
Oh, yes, Death. The one that helped us out.
Death deals in death. But he,
Shocker.
yeah, I know, crazy, huh? Death's job extends far beyond any of the others. Because Death, being the ambitious little guy he is, decided that there needed to be a fair and just way of measuring death and things, all of the sort, and sorting the dead and all of those kinds of things across the greater multiverse. So Death works not only in Petornia, but all through the entire universe, the greater universe.
So he's even got some influence out in Kitria where we've been and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Death is the reason why there is a form of death or Grim Reaper or being that exists in every universe.
Oh. Bro
Very
said,
nice,
you
very
can't
nice.
get away from me.
Essentially, yeah. And then there's Onscan, whose name stands for desire in Swedish.
Ooh, that I
And
did
he,
not know. I was actually wondering why he was named Onscan.
yep, and his desire is what led to things existing in the first place.
I will say I very quickly got to the point where every single word that I don't know, I do try to translate from Swedish. Every single one of them. It's the way to go with a bunk campaign.
I'm sorry. I
No, no, no.
apologize.
Don't apologize for it.
No, don't
It's good to have
apologize.
themes. It's good to have themes. And it's been a great way for us to. I mean, it's a great clue for puzzles, right? Because rather than us having no idea where to go with these puzzles. We at least have a sort of launching point, which is really handy.
Mm.
I had a question and I lost it, so I hope Nerd has one.
I am annihilating cereal right now. I'm here though. So obviously I came in kind of late to the party. I wasn't here for a lot of any of Act One, and probably not a whole lot of Act Two. But I'm just curious, how do I put this? You are basically like the weaver of his entire world, and I can't express of how much I appreciate that. But I gotta know, out of all of the stories that you've put together with us playing actors in your story, in Act Two, what would you say was your favorite moment?
Oh,
Okay, wait. To clarify that, do you mean just among the Guardians, or do you mean what was his favorite moment of all of Arc Two?
Both. Two-parter. Out of all of Act Two, and then specifically the Guardians themselves.
that is a very hard moment. It's a hard thing to come up with.
Suffer.
With the Guardians is pretty easy, just because it's not a wholesome moment, but it was very impactful. And I think one of the things not to go out on a tangent here, but one of the things I really do appreciate about your party is you really you trust me.
Trust is a
Not
very strong word.
I will say
not to
that I 100% trust our DM
Okay,
because
I should I
he
should clarify. I trust you, but at the same time, like I don't. Like, if that makes sense.
I trust
I
him with the fate of my characters. I don't always take everything he says at face value because there are times where what he's saying is meant to be a riddle or a clue, you know.
Hmm.
mhm. Oh yeah,
Like,
don't
do I trust? Like, I don't. Like, I trust him with the fate of my character and everything, but I don't trust him in the sense of like how you don't trust your DM because like they might like
They might not even
drop
want you to
something on
trust them.
like I like when that suspicion creeps in when they're like, hey, what's your passive perception? Okay, you notice nothing. Like I'm like I don't trust that. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair.
Oh. And to be fair, of all the
But
DMs,
other
trust
than that,
it.
like I completely trust you. Like you've not given me any reason not to thus far.
I mean, in the sense of that way, you should trust me less than any other DM because I will directly lie to you regularly. But and it's not to say like no other party trusts me. I think it's more so that I think you see the vision of like moments, and that's why this moment to me was such a big one. And that was just the collapse.
My
Can I
man
just say,
Crib with the
Kriv
light work.
catching this guy was such a
Light
moment.
work. Light work, no reaction.
Okay, well, I want to take that same question before we move on to the other one and flip it back on you, nerd. What was your favorite moment of Arc 2? And I'll share mine
Um, uh,
after as well.
Other than the obvious of catching the sky, because that shit was amazing. Um, I would have to say maybe Crib's like heart to heart he had with Yen in the Capitol when she admitted to him that she was the one that originally took his family
Hmm.
because she sought him out specifically to become her champion. And I say that because I feel like that was a really defining moment for Priv in the sense that it's kind of where he began to see his purpose in like that the things of his the like the string of his fate wasn't as random as he thought.
Hmm.
And while yeah, there was some confusion with it and definitely maybe some anger at it, but at the end of the day, he basically understood that she did like it was the defining moment for Kriv to understand exactly like for Kriv to get one step closer to understanding how Yen is and how she like acts.
Mm-hmm.
Like like when like he was like if she hadn't sworn on her godhood that they were safe in her care, he probably would have broke his oath right there and then and said, "Do not talk to me." Like it's the fact that like he wasn't happy that she took them, but he wasn't mad either. It's kind of just like, oh well, okay.
Oh, we've got a tree in here as well.
And not only him like understanding his role a little bit better, but the fact that when he went to kneel, she kneeled with him. It almost gave him a sense of like this, like it kind of gave him a sense of a shift in dynamic. Like this isn't a master and I don't want to say slave. This isn't a commander and soldier type role between Yen and Kriv. This is more like this made him understand this is a two people fighting on the battlefield type thing. Like yeah, just because Kriv doesn't see what she's doing, she's out there fighting just like he is. Arguably not, if not more.
A partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership. Like yes, Yen supplies him with power, but he supplies her with a champion that can push that like she needs to.
Right.
She supplies him power, and he supplies her the drive to keep fighting.
Oh, tree followed now. Do you have any questions while you're here? Oh, you were watching Dungeons and Daddies.
Who's here? I'm sorry, I'm not in the stream quite. I was eating. Like I said, I'm like absolutely obliterating some frosted flakes right now.
Do you remember the Guardians encountering a character named Elk Nephiedra?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tree, the Elk Nephidra's player, is in the stream now.
Tree!
Do you have any questions you want to ask while you are here? Our DM has said he's going to answer any question as long as it doesn't spoil the ending. And while you come up with that question, I will share my favorite moment. And this is kind of different, I suppose. I think my favorite moment was the traumatization of Daedalus at High City. That was
fucking
it led him down it led him down a very different path from what what he was, or what I always thought he was planning to do. And I think it sort of led to him, I don't think power hungry is the right description, but it led to him sort of determining that he really needs to change the way he approaches.
I feel like in a sense it was power hungry, but it was power hungry with good intentions. Like,
well,
it wasn't hungry for power in general. It was hungry for the power necessary.
Well, the reason I say power hungry is wrong is because he wasn't after power per se, and he wasn't even after being the one strong enough to protect other people. He was purely after making sure that other groups like the Lavender Circle could not hurt innocent people. So the power was not what he wanted. That was a means to an end. And he has multiple times said, you know, I don't want this power, and if it could be anyone else, gladly. I don't want to be the one who has to travel with the party 500 years to fight Kishta again. If I could put Kishta out of my mind, so be it. That would be amazing. But I think with the combination of trauma and responsibility that he feels, that's sort of what has led Daedalus to become who he is now.
Right.
Tree wants to know what was it, and also who is this directed at? Tree? Is this directed at myself, or is this directed at the DM? But the question is, what was your reaction to the map expansion? I would like to know your perspective on that, DM. How did you feel when you released the map expansion? Also, Tree says he loves you.
I love you too, Tree. You're my boy.
Loves all of us.
You're a boy, Tree.
Let's go, Tree.
Yeah, so my perspective on it was I didn't think it would ever happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was few people know. Uh the requirements for that to happen were very specific and very locked away. And it was like because a lot of logistic questions are called in, and there's a lot of lore in the logistics of how more land just and ocean suddenly just existed. Obviously, with history and people in it, but there is a reason. Um, but yeah, no, that was I did not expect anybody to ever really trigger that whole thing to happen.
So, okay. I didn't know that that was actually tied to group actions. I hadn't heard that side of that. So, what exactly were the actions that caused that? And follow-up question, is there another map expansion to be unlocked?
Oh, asking the big questions. The answer to the first question is kind of easy. Um, Essentially, BIM 4 and how he was dealt with is sort of the main answer I have.
Hmm.
Um, because BIM 4 wasn't ever supposed to be actually taken care of by the parties, because he was a red herring the whole time.
Right.
Like he could never have actually physically done anything to anybody.
Tell that to
So
Confrey.
yeah, well, that's the poor Confrey, I know, but he he's an NPC, so we don't care.
He's got different rules.
Different rules. Um, but yeah, and the fact that a party took care of him and did it non-violently was such a big thing that through a long chain of events that set off caused the unlocking of the greater world.
I see.
And answer to the second question, which I think is best. Well, I guess I will have to answer it if you ask further. However, I will just simply answer for the first bit. Yes.
Yes, there is. Okay, there is more map to unlock. I think I personally would rather find that out in game than just ask how to do it. So I will leave that there with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tree says, "Wow." uh, oh, I did have another. Oh no, I needed to answer Tree's question. I was really excited to see uh, more map unlock. The half of me that wanted to explore a new map, which I don't think our group has been to yet. So excited to take our Arc 3 characters there. But I was excited to see more map and see what it holds for us, especially with the revelation that there are, dungeons all over the world with all sorts of insane things inside of them. That just seems like a lot of fun. And then the other half of me remembered that I needed to put that onto the world map, which, by the way, those were the easiest ones to do. I had no idea. um, but I've also been really enjoying that process. As much as I joke about it, I really love doing that art. It's really fun. Am I allowed to ask about your new character? Oh yes, you can absolutely ask about new characters. I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. There's no problem with that. I don't think. I'd love to hear about yours as well if you are playing with this in Arc 3. Um, but nerd, you want to tell us about Asta?
Yeah, I can. So my character's name is Asta Getgood. He is actually the son of my Act 2 character Kriv Getgood. He's also kind of I don't want to say the product. He's kind of special in the fact that he was not born in conventional means because his mother cannot actually have children. So the way Asta was made and born was that Yen, as sort of a favor to Kriv, took a bit of Ilya, his mother, and Kriv's essences and turned it into a soul. And eventually that soul became a body. So basically he Asta was baby Jesus into existence. He is a gigantic fucking nerd. And I mean that in the best, most loving way possible because I adore him. but he's always trying to figure out how things work. He's always trying to determine, can he do anything about this? Can he reproduce this in any type of way? Um, he's kind of also an example of someone who understood Yen's role in the world right out the gate, because he learned about Yen from Kriv's perspective instead of the one of like, oh, she's bad, oh, she's wants you to struggle, all that stuff. Like, because obviously you hear someone say that they want you to struggle, and you immediately think they're like, oh, this bitch is a hater. I got it. That's not really the case, as I think I've interpreted it correctly. I hope I'm interpreting Yen's role correctly. What else can I say? He is a forge cleric, and how exactly his belief in Yen will change the flavor of forge cleric, I am not yet known, but I'm very excited to work with the DM and find out. Because like Asta, I am also a gigantic fucking nerd. He's just like me, for real, for real.
Nerd.
Nerd. Yeah, it's almost as if that's my Discord name or something. That's crazy.
Man, imagine playing D&D on Discord. That's wild. Must be a nerd.
No, that's crazy. Couldn't be me. Anyway. Oh, and I'm glad you like the character. I'm very excited to see how he'll play out, and I'm very excited to see how he will differ from Kriv in terms of like how he assesses situations, how he will fight, like assess a combat situation. Because my vision for Asta is that if Asta's father Kriv is the struggler, he will basically push through anything with vim and vigor. Like, he will push through it through sheer determination. He's basically like, if the whole world is a nail, I'll be a hammer type deal. And I want Asta to differ from that, because I want Asta to be a bit more intellectual. And that's not to say that Kriv is stupid by any means. It's just like, he's very like, I will solve this with my hands, and then like, and you can square the fuck up if you don't like it.
He's been that way since day one. Killing Solomon's brother.
For real, he smashed that motherfucker. Like, he did Solomon's brother so dirty. Oh my god.
Yeah, if that's the end of that, I can talk about Apollo a little bit.
Yeah, just one last thing. Like I was saying, if Kriv is the struggler, I want Asta to be the tinkerer. Kind of in a way like he might not be able to fight his way out of a problem, but he'll damn sure think of a way to like build something to do it for him if he can't do it himself.
I'm very excited to see how that all plays out as well.
He's also most definitely not just walking around in Space Marine armor. That's
definitely not true. He absolutely is.
Yeah. No, that's definitely not Space Marine. Gaslight gatekeeper. Tree's reaction. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad you like him. I'm glad you enjoy him. I really am.
So Apollo is the son of Daedalus and Joanna the pirate lady. His character, I think, is still not entirely fleshed out because there's so much that's happened since Arc 2. You know, our characters have now been alive for 500 years, much longer than expected, but we've had some life-preserving things happening. And so, as a result, Apollo and Asta have both actually been born up in Kitria, essentially space. So they're very we're space people. We're not from Petornia, which I think is a really cool and interesting thing, given the Archimedes bloodline. So, I guess in a sense, Apollo is a noble from Kitria, but of Mistport. Which, that's a whole thing to sort out. But seeing as he's learned from his father, the Drake Warden Ranger, and his mother, the pirate, he's sort of shifted away from carrying a rifle to carrying dual pistols. His rifle was blessed with the wind spirit, so his pistols are blessed with the fire and I think cold is what we went with, to do that
My
balance.
picky.
So he's a bit more hasty, like it, or not hasty, a bit more life on the edge, dangerous, like a pirate would be, but he's still calculated like his ranger father was. It's a nice little balance of the two of them, I think. He is
Like any.
still a what's up?
Oh no, sorry. I was saying something else. My apologies. I didn't mean to. I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. What was I saying? He is still a Drake Warden Ranger because I was waiting on another subclass that a custom subclass that somebody is working on. It wasn't done in time, so still went with Drake Warden, at least for the time being. So he's going to have a little dragon friend as well. I need to work on that still though. But yeah, that's Apollo. Calculated and wild, a duality.
Like any smart man, he's scared to death of his mother.
Yes, like any smart man, scared of his mother. I mean, his mother's crazy.
That part in the first act still cracks me up. It's like, please be Joanna, please be Joanna, please don't be Joanna, please don't be Joanna. Asta, fuck.
um,
Asta and Apollo are very much two peas in a pod, and that pod is stupid.
and that's another really cool thing about our characters going into Arc 3 is now that we've had Arc 2 characters that have had these sort of interactions and relationships with one another, we've been able to write it so that our two characters, and I don't know how old Asta is,
He is 25.
25. Okay, so your character is actually 4 years older than Apollo. You've known Apollo since the day of his birth, and as a result, they're really close as characters. So I think that there's a lot to be done there with character work.
Absolutely. Also, 100% looked at Daedalus. Not Daedalus. He looked at Daedalus when
Apollo.
Apollo's baby. It was like, why you look like that?
But to turn this back to the focus of asking the DM everything, I want to ask, how are you feeling about the new characters going into Arc 3? Are you enjoying them so far? Or have any expectations of them?
Yeah. How do you feel about Apollo, Asta, and then even Ezekiel, the scribe wizard?
Well, and not even just our party, but every party.
Right. How do you? How are you excited? Is there any tribulations, any concerns that you might have as far as going into this next part of the story that you are weaving for us?
Actually, I've never been more excited. I've never been so just so hyped about an arc. Because Arc 3 is special in ways that a lot of Petornia was meant to be, but it never actually got to be. Because you guys are going to actually, you've stuck around, right? Through so many now. This is the third arc of Petornia, and every arc
Right.
is like it's got a new theme, it's following a new part of the story, and it's the next brick in the wall. No joke intended. and like it's just as fun with like the new groups as well, because I have some groups like Call of the Black Hills, if any of them are here, or Closer Than Ever, if any of them are here, or anything like that. But also I have groups that have been together and have been around the block a time or two, like the Unforeseen Guardians or the Lavender Circle.
Right.
So, and it's two very different kinds of excitement, but it's still like a massive excitement because lore and backstory and like big moments that they were a part of that are now like standing memories that the world will have. And where was I going with this? Come on. Oh.
Words.
And so like now they're starting out, and like the players will have that knowledge, and the players have like lore and stuff. And so now they're like in character pretending like they don't know, but out of character like, oh, this guy's back, like and it's really fun.
Okay, yeah, and on that actually, to just ask another small question here. Nerd, how have you felt about, hearing these things that you know above table, but having to, as Asta, not as Kriv, having to recognize that you can't speak on some of those things?
Oh god, I'm being put in the hot seat. I think it's I think for Asta, it's like there's a lot that he does know about just because, I mean, he's heard the stories from his dad thousands of times. I mean, he knows about Skeldon. He knows about the stories of the adventures that Kriv had with Throg, Throg, all that good stuff. I mean, obviously, and plus, I'm sure his aunt Fauna told him all types of stuff while they were working in the forge together. But to see, the world through Asta's eyes and see these things like, wow, my dad didn't tell me about this, my dad didn't tell me about that. For a lot of people, I feel like there'd be some people who would take that as like, why didn't my dad tell me about this? But for Asta, it's like, cool, there's something my dad didn't tell me about.
Right.
Because for Asta, it's very much like, it's almost like a field trip in school, if that makes any type of sense. Like, he's just excited to be here, he's excited to see all the stuff that he could learn and all the stuff that maybe he didn't know about. And even if it is something he knew about, he's excited to see it with his own eyes and make his own opinion about it that isn't... He's excited to see the world when it's not through Kriv-colored glasses, or Ilia-colored glasses, or Fauna-colored glasses. So even if he does see something that he already knows about, he's excited to see it with his own eyes, that way he can evaluate his own opinion on it.
Right.
Like, he was super hyped to meet Skeldon for the first time.
Actually, that brings me to something else I find very interesting. Not to take up too much more time on this, but
Oh, this is all about you. Take up as much time as you need.
Absolutely.
I was just gonna say on your characters very specifically, it's very, very interesting seeing because most characters in Petornia, like in game, have no idea that there are more dimensions, there are more places you can go outside of Petornia, whereas you aren't even from Petornia. And they've traveled here to learn about it, and this is like where their families come from, and they already have this foreknowledge that there's so much more to be explored.
Hell yeah.
I have a this is a less scathing, more superficial question.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite subclass, homebrew subclass that you've made?
Oh man.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
You asking the heavy hitters now. Oh
It's
my god.
that's an easy one. That's an easy one.
How is
This-
that an easy one?
Well,
This is different.
Because I mean, you just say the first one that comes to your mind, and then you can explain why.
Probably the Soul Artificer.
Oh, that sounds
There's a
interesting.
soul artificer? What is that?
So it's an artificer, but they deal almost exclusively in like Warforged and golems and stuff.
Ooh.
Part of that is they learned how to manipulate the soul, and they can uncorrupt, they can corrupt souls. It also has a lot to do with runes, and they can kind of mess with it until they can form a soul, so that way this being has some levels of sentience and consciousness, but they can also, like, it's bad, and that's part of the lore of it, but also they are able to create these beings that have wills sort of exclusive to what he...
Okay.
But then there's also, wizards for dark or light magic, which are I find kind of cool, because you're just a wizard, but you're exclusive to dark magic spells, or you're a wizard, but you're exclusive to light magic spells. Because common magic spells are everything that a normal wizard would be able to use, but light magic spells are hard to learn because they're not common.
I see.
And they're all, homebrew. So I'm a little bit egotistical where I'm like, oh yeah, you can use the cool stuff because I made it.
That's how I feel whenever I use something that was homebrewed by you for Kriv. Like when I first learned about the moment with the Draugrs in the dungeon, I was hyped. I was pumped.
Oh, that actually reminds me. You've mentioned that this next arc is going to be a what's the word you used? Like a slower burn. How do you
Hmm.
how exactly do you mean that? Do you mean like the enemies we fight will be much lower scale, so as a result we'll scale slower, or do you plan for the grand scheme of things to be a more intimate scale? How exactly do you mean that?
Yeah, actually, on both fronts, is a yes. You're starting out at level 5, and you're going to very slowly level. You're going to stick to more local things you got to deal with, a
Mm-hmm.
lot more intimate plot moments, rather than you're like, oh, we got to go to, another dimension to get this thing so we can save the entirety of the universe. Like, you're not dealing with that as much. It's still in the background, and there's going to be points where it is going to come up, and there are going to be very big moments. But aside from that, it like you're going to be spending a lot more time doing very small and local things
Right.
because Arc 3 is the kickoff for the main story. Like this is the big story. This is it.
He really
There's no
pulled
more
an
time
Oda.
skip.
He pulled an Oda. He said everything up to now has been
Hell
prequel.
yeah, Coda. I'm here for it.
This is why you're one of
That's
the
the thing.
greatest writers.
On
You gotta,
God, that's what I've been saying this whole time.
this is too much positivity.
You're right. Someone's gonna
No, this
roast
is
him.
You suck.
like it's like, you guys got to play the prequel, so out of character you know how things got to this point. But then in character you're trying to pick up the pieces and learn about it, and then you're trying to slowly, however you can, get to the end. And um since I know you guys are running, we don't have too much time left, so I will say,
I've still got
uh,
about another 30 minutes.
Yeah, got
oh,
another 30 minutes. The person I needed to go pick up for the other session is not going to be able to make it, so I got a little bit longer.
You're stuck
I
with us, unfortunately.
no, that's fine.
You ain't getting out of the praise that easily, motherfucker.
I was sad. I was like, oh man, we're gonna have a short roasting session. Um, what I was gonna say is like, um, Arc 9 is probably my biggest fear because the end of Arc 9 is the end. Like I have made a final decision that at the end of Arc 9 is where I will wrap up the story of Petornia, probably for once and for all.
Oh shit.
Oh, no post game.
No endgame content.
And I don't know. Well, I know exactly how I want to do it, but I'm so worried that it will not meet not only everyone else's expectations but my own, because it's such like that's why we're here, right? Is Petornia has existed for 10 years. Like I was a 10-year-old kid when I began working on this story. And so I've spent a lot of time with it. I've worked on it for a very long time. It's very near and dear to my heart in a lot of ways. Not as much the greater world as more so the individual, like small parts of it that I really love. And it's become so much more beloved than I ever expected, that now I have such a nervousness about it. Like I've never been so scared of Petornia, where it's like now when I'm writing, I'm like, okay, this needs to be perfect. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very nervous about Arc 9. However, I'm I still have kind of a blind confidence of like it's going to be memorable.
We've got my brother's in the comments, and he's saying rough translation is go big or go home. So I replied, you got to end the story with a bang, and he says, or 16, depending on how your strat is feeling. But
Yes.
I think the thing that strikes me about what you're saying here is, Petornia is, at its core, it's a story, right? We're trying to weave this
Tell that
narrative
story.
that leads us to the ending that you want to tell, right? So as long as the ending communicates what you as the grand writer wants to communicate, and what us as the sort of characters in your story have earned in that ending, I think it's going to be wonderful. And everything you've done so far has been really great. So I have no reason to believe that it isn't going to be wonderful.
Thank you. That's very, very kind.
This is why I'm your favorite.
Damn. Just like that while I'm sitting right here.
Don't worry, he's about to fire me up.
I'm trying to earn that level up. I'm sorry. Oh, speaking
it's also to Paul over again. It's like, I'm telling.
Speaking of levels, how have you been feeling about the fact that you now have was it 4 level 21 characters to keep track of?
It has been great.
He says that with like tears in his eyes. Like, oh yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah,
so
having a great
fun.
time.
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
aren't breaking anything.
They
An
aren't breaking anything.
I know the meme is like DMs hate high level characters, but like I love it. I love it when you have the ability to really go out and set your mind on something and go for it. Because I love.
Oh no, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
What was I gonna say?
You love when we can go out and set our mind to something.
Yeah, but like I love the idea that players can take action in a way that's really meaningful to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem with Petornia is a lot of settings are very like just intrinsically they're local, right? And it's like you're dealing with the town's issue, and you're helping them, and you're becoming the town's hero. But like Petornia is a massive world, so I'm always worried that players will be like, oh well, we're just like they're out there fighting the end of the world, and we're just over here fighting some skeletons in a dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like it when and just go, and they're out there, and they can truly be on the forefront of absolutely massive things happening.
Right.
Because then it also leads into the other thing that I will say I'm proud of in Petornia, and that is that they will become a part of the history of the world forever.
And
There's
I've
no
definitely
mentioning
seen that happen. I've definitely seen the reality of that.
Yeah, because there's like massive moments that change the world forever that cannot be mentioned without talking about what a player did, and I love that.
It's like the Kriv thing that we keep coming back to, is like Kriv caught the sky, and I'm sure that somebody somewhere saw that, right?
Right, somebody somewhere had to have seen this purple dragonborn just fly out of nowhere as the world is ending and just stop it. Just like maybe not stop it entirely, but halt it just for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like
somebody had to
now
have seen
Kriv
that
is
somewhere.
now Kriv is forever a part of Petornia, regardless of what happens to his character. Not that I'm expecting anything, but if we were to
God,
go
I
on an
hope not.
adventure next week and Kriv were to finally meet his fate there, then regardless
Like
of
his
that,
name is
his
like
his name
etched
is
in
forever in
Petornia.
Petornia, which I think is such an amazing thing. Like he is now, legendary amongst the world,
Hmm.
and nothing can take that from him. I think that's amazing.
Right. It's the same thing in terms of Daedalus too, because Daedalus has done a lot as well.
And I think it's the same for basically any character in Petornia. Like if I ask what's something amazing that Gary has done, oh, he's the one who overthrew the oppressive High City, which regardless of how that went down, like that is an accomplishment of the character. And then High City being moved to where is it Ansk, I want to say.
Yep.
Yeah, High City being moved to Ansk and the Orc lands is like that's something that would not have happened without player interaction, and I'm sure it's something that you as a DM hadn't planned for, right? Like it's something that happened and that you were able to adapt to, but it's not something you wrote in your notes 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. That's what I love about D&D. My mini rant is over. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Talk your shit. I'm right
That's
there with you. 'Cause, like honestly, like I love the fact that like obviously like I was very late to the party. I mean that's obvious, but I love the fact that the whole Act 2 was like our characters basic all not as Act 2, but entirely it's like our characters becoming legend, and then the next one characters after that living in a world where that legend is real and making their own stake in the world.
hmm That's that embodies the idea of what Petornia was always meant to be.
Oh, I have a juicy question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
He's revving up. He's got that revving up voice. You better brace yourself.
Yeah, so Kishta needs to kill and consume Iktar, for lack of a better term. But we've thrown a wrench in those plans, and Iktar has been on the run since. So is that something that she still needs, as in accordance with the prophecy, or does it seem more like the prophecy is just there to guide us rather than direct events?
Well, first of all, let me go ahead and mark Kishta off on my bingo card.
It only
You really
took
have a
an
bingo
hour and
card?
a half.
It took longer than I expected, I'm not gonna lie. I'll
I
give
told you
that.
the first one wasn't going to be about Kishta. I didn't say I didn't have any Kishta.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So, Kishta and the things that she needs. She yes, she does still need Iktar, and she is actively hunting him down.
See, my concern is that lady in the diner from the last episode wasn't actually working there, and that was just Kishta in disguise. Because like she knew that them showing up would open up the orbs, and so that's why she told them to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to know who decided to hide
that's not-
orbs
that's
under
not the
that.
back of my head.
That's like so wild.
Right.
But I guess it also does make sense with you saying, it was expected almost that the Guardians would be the ones to come back and handle that stuff. So it was expected that much stronger people than Asa, Apollo, and Ezekiel would show up.
Mm-hmm.
That is also something that's very exciting to me, is being weaker and feeling weaker again, and feeling the process of getting stronger again. I'm very excited for that.
Oh yeah, that is one of the main excitements for Arc 3 for me.
That process is going to be so good, and comparing ourselves against what we play on our off sessions is going to be like that feeling. And I'm sure it'll even be said in character of, oh man, Dad could have done this no problem. I think that feeling is going to be amazing.
But to answer the other part of that question, which is the prophecies, right?
Right.
The prophecies are rather than a to-do list, it's a not to-do list.
Right.
And I think the thing with the prophecies that a lot of people often I don't want to say miss because that sounds mean, but like misinterpret, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
is that they're not they're not so black and white. Like they're very metaphorical or very literal sometimes, but oftentimes it's very much a thing of um like it doesn't have to be quite as straight laced as it seems.
Right.
And I think personally, if I may air a minor frustration of mine, um I think a lot of the problem with why a lot of the prophecies are seen as like inevitable is because uh they shouldn't be thought of in the like at the last part. It shouldn't be like, all right, we need to stop exactly that happening.
Mm-hmm.
There are there are there's foreshadowing to things that can lead to that.
Yeah, it's
Which,
like
granted, I will. It's like a
sorry, I was gonna say it's sort of like we as players get laser focused on preventing an individual thing rather than focusing on the bigger picture and thinking, okay, what can we do right now about these things? How can we sort of play the field in its entirety, right? But I didn't mean to
because
cut you off. Yeah.
yeah, no, you're good. Um, it's sort of like it like there are steps that lead up to like individual parts of the prophecy being completed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think those are more easily prevented. Now, granted, I'll give you that like the prophecies are very metaphorical and all of that, and therefore are kind of inherently confusing and up for interpretation. Um, but I think I try to make it possible to figure them out.
Right.
And I, that is 100% not me being like, oh, it's so simple.
It's so
Like,
obvious.
yeah, no, it's and I think it's hard for me to not think that way, but that's because I wrote it. But it's like, and it's also not me being like, oh, it's so hard. Why, like, oh, how would they ever figure it out? I'm such a genius at writing puzzles. I don't think that at all. It's more
Honestly,
so,
that Yagami shit.
yeah, no, it's more so it's like there's so much there's so much context needed for everything in Petornia that it's so hard to get because it's so spread out in the massive world that you're placed in
Mm-hmm.
that it's not easy to put all the pieces together because you don't have all the pieces.
Right.
It's not easy being cheesy.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Exactly. I've always said that.
I've always been an advocate for Chester the cheetah. Are there any more burning questions as we begin to wind down on time here? We have maybe time for 2 or 3 more.
You don't have to say who it is, but will we find out eventually who put the fucking orbs there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My guess is either hold on, I'm drawing a blank of names. Iktar or I can't remember his name. He has the crazy evil cursed eye.
Crowley?
Yeah, either Crowley or Iktar. I wanted to say Confrey so bad. Their names sometimes jumble up for me.
The old meme used to be Crowley and Corville because they both start with
Yeah,
C.
that's the C. Crowley and Corville. I almost said Crowville just now. Like it's so bad. My brain is so
Cravel.
bad at separating those out.
What's a Cravel?
I was
Before
missing
your
Crowley and Corville.
Yeah, before you youngins came in, that was one of the old memes. Crowley and Corville, they're the opposite side, but they sound so similar. And I was like, I know, that's
That's the
I didn't mean
point.
to. I didn't do. Well, I didn't intentionally do that with the names, but the idea was always that they were two sides of the coin that would flip.
And they definitely flipped.
A
Do a flip. Um, so,
flip.
so when you started writing Petornia, actually no, I can't ask that. That's a spoiler. That's a huge spoiler for the end.
Go for it. Go for it.
Well,
Go
I was
for
going
it.
to ask what the end goal of the story was, but that's actually just asking what the ending is, which I don't want to do.
I can answer that without spoiling it too much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Without going into like, I think that's a very fun question because originally it wasn't even called Petornia, and it wasn't about the greater world. It was specifically about Frula, and it was called The Seven Lives of Frula the Wanderer. Like, that's where it all began.
That's where we found that
And
book, even.
exactly. And that's actually how I ended up coming up with more of Petornia, was because it was like, well, they're going to this place. And I was like, well, what's that? What's that place like? And I just kept like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, and then he dies. And I was like, but where does he go? And then I was like, oh, the realm of war, because he's an orc, and the orcs follow a war god. And then it just like it snowballed into Petornia. And
Right.
my original intent with the ending and like my end goal back then was that Frula was going to die for the seventh time, completely, like, never, like, he didn't actually win. Because I loved the idea as an 11-year-old of being like, yeah, so it just ends.
He was on his villain shit.
Tragedy.
Yeah, it's like, he's not even a villain, he just is trying to fight the final bad guy, which I will not talk about, because that is a spoiler to stuff.
Are you
But-
telling me it's not Kishta?
Whoa, hold
It's
on.
not Kishta.
Don't ask the questions you don't want answers to yet.
Kishta didn't exist back then. Kishta didn't come about until like 3 or so years ago.
No, because the revelation that Kishta is not our big bad is fucking crazy.
So
No. That's not what I mean.
are you
I just
saying
mean
that Frula's big bad was not Kishta, but that's kind of changed
Yeah.
and evolved as your writing has?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm glad we clarified that.
Yeah, that's that's important clarification. But yeah, no, Frula was supposed to do all of this stuff, meet all these people, as he did, actually in canon and in the game. And he was supposed to get all these friends to help him. And then at the end, his seventh life that he had, that he got promised in a lore thing that nobody will probably ever learn. He got there, all of his support was there, and he died first and didn't actually get to fight.
Not to make like an anime reference, but that reminds me a bit of the story, and this might be a recommendation for you, DM. Akame got killed, and I'll send it to you later.
Oh my god.
It's
The
such a
friggin'
good
Night Raid.
it's such a good
Night Raid.
anime, and the ending is such a bitter, not even bittersweet, it's just a bitter tragedy of an ending. I think you would enjoy
Well, it should be noted that the intention was that Frula died first and didn't get to actually fight or avenge anything. However, the group of friends that he had made and all the people he had gathered did actually fight and win.
that makes this recommendation even more perfect for so many reasons. I will send it to you later, promise. Looks like we only have maybe 10 more minutes before I need to head out, so
Isn't Akame got killed basically just dressed to kill? Or am I
I
thinking
don't
kill
know.
la kill?
I
Well,
don't know for a fact. I haven't learned those words yet.
if we're low on time, I think it's time for the roast.
I told you I'm
Joke's
bad
on
at that
you,
one.
there was no roast. Only praise.
No praise, don't do.
God, I don't even know what to say as far as roasting goes.
I know one
Usually I'm
viewer
good at
can
this.
definitely roast, but I don't know if he's paying any attention right now.
Who is it?
My brother is in the chat.
Yes.
Nathan! Is that who Black Magic is?
Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't just guess that one off the grip. Yes, that is who that is.
I mean, with how much my man hates Spike, I was gonna expect like Spike is a bitch 1 2 3 or something like that.
Hold on.
Hi, gang. Yeah, there he is. He's paying attention. There he is. Hi, gang.
Oh, okay. Here's a roast. Yo, how did it feel just knowing that Daedalus was going to take the first attack against Rome? How did it feel knowing that I was about to blow his personality all over the wall?
Oh.
Me personally, I think you're a bitch for that. You got me all hyped up to beat this man.
Yo,
And you gave him plastic surgery on the spot and turned his eyes blue because one blew that way and one blew the other way.
okay, again, this is not my fault. I didn't roll your initiative. I only rolled my own.
Yeah, but you're the one that decided to go with 48 D20 right out the gate and eviscerate his ass.
My other choice was 2D100.
You could have just like punched him or something.
Oh, we've got another comment here. I don't know who this player is, but they say, "What do you do when your big bad guy becomes a house cat?"
Oh, Chat Noir.
No, not Chat Noir. You missed this one actually.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to do like another Q&A where we can talk about that. BIM4 was before your time.
The big bad gets turned into a house cat. God damn. Joke's on you though. That wasn't even the big bad.
Joke's on you. The big bad is who Frula was fighting.
The big bad was the enemies we made along the way, not the friends we made along the way.
Man, honestly, yo, Confrey was almost our big bad. Was about to take out our whole party.
I did have one that I was pretty proud of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been working on Petornia for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
which is about 4 years longer than Isaac spent becoming an architect.
It's true. I only
The
did
only
6 years of college.
Only 6.
Only difference is I don't get paid.
You didn't get a degree for it.
It's a work of love.
Oh man. So spending 10 years on a world has got to be like you've got to be extremely attached to Petornia, right? How much would it take to nuke it to high heavens?
Hold on. Shut the fuck up. No, don't you do that.
I'm just saying, like, you know, we almost had a player accidentally destroy the sound.
About one bad roll.
One bad roll with the sound.
Yeah.
DM's been secretly rolling dice his entire time, and he's just happened to get very lucky every time.
I mean, every time he's rolled a death roll for us, it's come up positive.
Oh, right, with like the one with Vlador being alive still.
No, not even
Valdor,
that one.
Vlador.
If Kriv were to fall in combat, right? There'd be a 1d2 roll if you failed all your death saves and actually died. And if it's a 1, then he dies, like he's gone. If it's a 2, he comes back. Every time we've rolled that, which has been like 6 times now, it's been a 2 in just the Guardians. Predeye98 says, "Can we just mess with the chorus?" Gary goes bowling with the chorus rolled ins. We just found those again. Actually, we just found the chorus again. The Guardians.
Yeah, we don't talk about that because that shit was traumatizing. we basically got given weapons of mass destruction as babies.
We put them away. It's okay.
Yeah, we gave them
What
to the
if he gutter
skeleton and
balls?
threw them in a wall.
Gary rolls a gutter with the chorus.
nukes the entire planet.
Just fuse both of the entirety of both of the cores into one massive perfection stone.
I thought they weren't supposed to touch.
There, exactly.
They do not become a giant perfection stone. They become a helva.
Oh, what?
What is that?
Uh,
DM lore drop.
Oh.
Let's go.
Just a massive weapon that can. That's how you nuke Petornia.
Oh. Hey, I know what we're doing next Friday.
Oh no.
Because a helva takes
Please, I can't take Skeleton saying big flopper anymore, please.
Come on, a big flopper.
What were you saying that
God.
Helva takes there, DM?
Well, a helva draws so much power from the sound that they don't even have enough power left to stop it.
Oh.
That's how you destroy Petornia.
Gary would never gutter ball. But how does Gary handle a 7-10 split? We gotta know.
Oh,
just-
we gotta.
He just walks down the lane and kicks the other one down.
Nah. Gary has that finesse. I believe in him. And for
Does
what
he
he
though?
lacks in finesse, he makes up for in strength with a New York accent.
Priv almost gave Daedalus PTSD from Gary.
I don't remember that, but a lot of things triggered Daedalus, resulting from Gary.
It was right after Kriv had gotten struggle. He was gonna. I remember I was going to make Kriv obliterate somebody with his telekinetic reprisal, and then you said if I did that, he was gonna get PTSD from Gary.
A lot of things would trigger Daedalus's PTSD regarding Gary. A lot of things. That was probably more so than watching Dawn die and become Kishta. The most terrifying thing that Daedalus has ever seen was Gary, someone who he was allied with, threatening a harmless old man to the point of threatening to destroy. I mean, he threatened a lot of things that I probably can't say right now out loud.
fuck your life, Bing Bong.
It wasn't so much that it was an issue for him regarding Gary, and it wasn't so much an issue of him judging Gary in any sort of way there. It was more an issue of him realizing that the people he was aligned with were so incredibly powerful and terrifying that if there were not a failsafe for all of them, himself included, it could be a really terrible thing. So that's what really scared Daedalus the most, and what ended up leading him down the path of I've got to make this weapon to be ready for anything. That was a low point for him, but don't worry, the next character is going to be intentionally a butt. That's funny.
Batman.
The Batman arc. When your
Yeah,
parents get
Daedalus
murdered.
went full Batman.
When his parents get murdered in an alleyway.
His parents weren't murdered, they were just kidnapped.
That's true. This is not as roasty as I was preparing for.
Well, your boy doesn't throw
Well,
roasts around like that.
How bad do you want the roast to get? Because I mean,
I
is
was-
it like
I was expecting some jabs. I feel like Petornia deserves at least something.
I don't,
little bit
living in Petornia, I feel like there's always a twist or a turn or something amazing to get up to. I can't think of a thing to roast about Petornia. I haven't even seen half the world because I'm so engrossed in just, keeping things tight and tidy around New Missport, or trying to prevent the cores from being picked up by any other group before we can finally put them back together and fix them, and all sorts of stuff.
the one roast I'm thinking of that comes to mind is that Petornia almost sounds like that episode of Family Guy where Peter made his own country.
Yeah, that was a good one. Too many beach episodes. Yeah, hold on. No, I need to know why you let Difnu put a hole in my tower. Come on, what is that?
Right.
Vis is here just as we're like about to wrap up.
Oh no.
Actually, I should go ahead and go to the ending soon screen so no one gets confused as we wrap up here. We got 1 minute to drop roasts on his head. 1 minute, let's go.
Destroy me.
Destroy him like Diffnu did my tower.
Hey. Trust me, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Just do it. Break me. Break me down. Break me down.
I have a question about why there are so many cat-based characters. Why you let Ilya expose my... Oh,
Break me
depose
down,
your
that
ally?
sounded dirty.
Depose your ally? You let
Yeah,
Ilya
you
do
leave my
something
guy-
to Gary's ally.
You let my you leave my fucking goth vampire GF alone.
Neko
You know,
fanboy. Neko fanboy. Avery, the guy who says he's on your side and then puts you to DC 30 checks. That's so funny. Checks too high. Og is ruined. Well, Og has been ruined. Let's be real. Same dude who says this is the greatest country on earth, and then it's just America 2.0. Oh man.
Oh, no.
Absolutely eviscerated him.
DC 30 may or may not be a skill issue.
Yeah.
Depends on what the DC is. Is it hitting somebody? With our plus 50 to hit weapons? Hey, yo, hold up. This also can't complain about DC 30. This man has a whole realm now. Hold up. Hold up. You wrote a whole
dude-
realm for one character.
Dude, I don't want to hear it from the guy who basically turned Makima into a D&D character. Oh, my guy has the power to transfer his injury to anybody in the facility. Like, okay, that's Makima. You made Rome into the control demon.
And the DM allowed it.
Crap.
Oh, man.
That's a great one. I love that.
Gonna make Bjorn renegotiate some of these treaties. Avery will create. Hey, yo, hold up. I got you. I'll get to making Apollo renegotiate on the other side, and we can just renegotiate until the entire campaign ends.
No.
First of all, I need to know who. Okay, no, hold up. Nah, I do got beef actually. Who is selling the Archimedes family crests and signet rings? Like, what the heck is that? Hold up,
Who's selling Criv's hammer? That's my thing.
man. They really made us into like attractions. It's wild out here.
That's crazy.
Oh man. They really said, hey, look at these guys. They saved the world. Let's monetize it. Yo, this is America 2.0. We're playing America 2.0. I'm burning this mug to the ground. Nah, screw that. Not again. Can't do this twice.
Capitalism.
Oh, man. Nah, screw the Elden Ring theory. This is the America theory.
No.
This is America.
Man. I'm
You
about to be
paid
Donald
your
Glover
hero
out
tax.
here. This is America. Don't catch you sleeping, no.
Don't get you sleeping. No.
Did you pay your hero tax?
No. Taxes, no. Bro, taxes is 70%. Nah, we ain't doing that out here. 70% taxes is wild.
Boy.
you started the music video with that eye deletion. I'm mad. No, I'll
Right,
dismantle High City twice
bro.
if this is just America again. Facts, bro. I'm telling you.
No.
I'll send High City into Kitria personally. I'll do it. I will do it. Let me turn my mic down. I'm peeking a little bit.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Oh my gosh,
what you
bro.
wanted.
It's deserved. Oh, thanks
Also,
for the follow.
I'm loving this little spinning D20. Did you make this yourself?
Oh no, I definitely nabbed this mug. It was a free what's it called? Free theme.
He's He said, "I'll rob this shit."
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to make a custom theme for Petornia. Like, I did put the text in the bottom right just to have that, be our own. But I have way too many other things that that I need to do. So this was nice for now until I can get a custom theme for us. It is.
Also, shout out to Indiana for being 60 fucking degrees outside in December.
Right? Like I'm about to vibe my way all the way to the comic shop for this game. Oh shoot, we actually need to head out here in a minute.
Windows down and bumping.
Yeah.
I gotta take my brother to work, and I may or may not grab some nuggies on the way.
Hey, well, you got 15 minutes to get your butt to the comic shop because they do not start late.
Ah, shit. Definitely gonna be late then.
It's 39 degrees here.
Nope. Keep that away from me. Although, we also had,
He
like,
said,
heavy
"Bleh."
rain today. Oh my gosh, it was perfect weather.
Ugh.
Alright, well, this was a fun Q&A. We'll have to dismantle High City twice and put it right in the
Alright.
ocean. We'll definitely have to set up, like, another Q&A and put a little bit more lead time on it. Put it on the Reddit,
Yeah.
Get more people.
We should put our next one I think we should have a lot more people and let it be like give them time to actually write some roasts down.
For sure, and we can put it in the crossovers so that it we can have also. Although that might get crazy with people talking over one another.
Yeah, that might get a little wild.
Yeah, it might.
Alright, y'all. It's been real, but I gotta go get my brother to work so I can meet at the comic shop on time.
All good, because
All
I gotta head out to be to the comic shop at all on time. So yeah, this has
Alright.
been fun. I will catch you guys next
Great.
time.
DM, I will be invading your DMs to ask some like more character specific questions later.
I also do have questions about the damage on the pistols because we haven't talked about that at all.
I've got an idea for Asta that I want to do that goes into like his forging and interweaving magic into the forging, but they can wait.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun
Alright.
invading you with all of our questions. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Oh,
Alright, I'll see you guys later.
All right, deuces.
catch you later.
And thank everybody
See
for
ya.
showing up. Thank you guys for your questions.
Right,
It was
been
a lot of fun.
Thanks everybody.
All right. We'll see you all next time.